Ruben Amorim looks favourite for the Liverpool job, but a big question remains around his appointment. Would he impact the Liverpool dressing room in a positive way? And if so, who would he improve? Today, we take a look. So this is Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 system. It's the one that he's utilising at Sporting Club de Portugal currently. It's the one that he's got so many plaudits for, and it's the one that's gaining him the most results. It's also the system that we're assuming he's going to be implementing into this Liverpool side if he were to take the job. Now, naturally, due to the different phases of play and whether they are in certain phases, the system will look a little bit different. That's how Ruben Amorim's rotation really works in this 3-4-3. And today we're going to be taking a look at 5 players who, when slotted into this system with the new roles that might be asked of them, would be able to take their game to the next level. Conor Bradley is at a really exciting point in his Liverpool career, but not just that, his career in general. 20 years of age, just burst onto the scene, 10 starts for Liverpool and 1 goal and 3 assists. It's really, really impressive. But what I think could really take his game to the next level is almost unshackling him from becoming a standard out-and-out right-back, which, don't get me wrong, I think he would be fantastic in, but out in this right wing-back role under Ruben Amorim, where the way he utilises these right wing-backs and left wing-backs, I think it would just take Bradley's game to the next level. When we think about the real strengths that he has, it's going forwards, it's his athleticism, it's his dynamism, his ability to really hit the byline, his playing crosses would improve, his ability to cross the ball and pass the ball would improve, and it's his natural positioning that I think is one of his best attributes. When we think about the way he got that goal against Chelsea, when we think about the way that he's able to really go forwards but still have the stamina and ability to really track back. Also, at the same time, you've got that extra cover of that other centre-back, which allows him and just unshackles him, propels him forwards. I think within a 3-4-3 system as the right wing-back, he's got the ability to really hug this right touchline, something that Ruben Amorim demands of his right wing-backs or his wing-backs in general, the width of the play to be able to allow the central midfielders to really do their thing. Conor Bradley, I think, is built for this right wing-back role under Ruben Amorim, and it's his attributes that I think could propel him into becoming arguably one of the most highly sought after right wing backs in the Premier League next season. There is no doubt that there is a player in Darwin Nunes, but I think everyone can understand that he's a little bit raw, he's a little bit wild, and sometimes that is to his benefit, but at times it can really lead him to being a little bit too unpredictable, and within a system like Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3, I think you're going to need to hone him a little bit more, and I think everyone also sees the similarities between him and Viktor Gyökeres, the ability to really hold up the ball, the running behind, the ability to play into space, but at the same time, I think Darwin Nunes has really looked his best in his Liverpool side when he hasn't had to think, and that might sound a little silly, but I really do think that instinctively he's a fantastic footballer, and placed into a Ruben Amorim system where possession is key, where the inside forward drops a little bit deeper, the other forward becomes almost second striker. I think it's something that he can really hone his game into. If you think about the passing lanes that he could open up by moving into a more central role and then moving back out, his utilisation of pace and running in beyond to really get himself into the box, and then there's the link up between the likes of the midfielders, between the likes of the other centre midfielder, the wing backs playing those crosses in. I think Darwin Nunes could seriously benefit from a more structured system like Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3, and then you're talking about the tactics that could be employed with him in the side. Yes, he's very good at running the channels, but at the same time, I also think that he would be fantastic at arriving late in the box or arriving first in the box. His anticipation and movement is almost second to none in the Premier League, and I don't think it's being utilised all too often. And naturally, I think that's a bit of a contrast in styles depending on how the build-up play plays in Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. But within a system that is more dictated to playing over the top or even playing through the wide areas towards Darwin Nunes, making him more of a focal point, I think he could be able to take his game to to the next level. Harvey Elliott is a player at Liverpool who I believe is in something of limbo. He's played 28 matches in the Premier League this season, but he's only started 6 of them. Now that needs to improve if he's going to really start to develop his game, and I understand that Mo Salah has been on that right wing for the considerable amount of time that Harvey Elliott has been at the club, but I'm not necessarily sure he's an out-and-out right winger. Instead, I think in this Ruben Amorim 3-4-3 system, an inside forward role might be something that seriously suits him. And the reason that I say that is due to the rotational roles of this Ruben Amorim side. So, for example, in one of the phases of play when they are entering the opposition's final third or even middle third of the pitch, we see a lot of rotation that happens in this Ruben Amorim setup. So one of the midfielders drops back almost as a centre holding role, and the other midfielder goes forwards. It's then down to one of the inside forwards to drop back into a more of a half space, and this is something that I can see Harvey Elliott really doing quite well. It's not utilising a lot of pace, even though I know he can run, but some players are better than that than others, and it's also not asking him to be one of the second strikers almost that the other inside forward then becomes. And it's this box formation that I think he could really be part of the build-up in. He's got good vision, he's got good passing, and I think his switches of play that might be able to be apparent sometimes to one of the wing-backs, or even reverse passes, is something that can really help out Liverpool when they're trying to build up. At the same time, he could also drift into this space on the edge of the box and take a shot with one of the really good long shots that we know he has. It's just something that I think unlocks his game a little bit more and allows him to be not necessarily pinned to that right hand side, but a little bit more free. The space that he could occupy in this half space, I think, might be able to progress his game that little bit further forwards, while also keeping him interested in the pivotal roles that he could play for Liverpool in the future. While we are talking about the impact on possible inside forward roles, I don't think we can forget about Diogo Jota, who is arguably Liverpool's best finisher at the club, probably barring Mo Salah, and I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility that Salah might look to move on after Jurgen Klopp leaves the club. But Diogo Jota is someone that I think could really do a massive job and role for Liverpool in this Ruben Amorim 3-4-3. Not only is a good role for an inside forward to drop into midfield to then enable for the rotation, but at the same time, the two-pronged attack of someone like Diogo Jota along with Darwin Nunes might be something that is able to push them forwards. If we think about the way that the rotation works and Darwin Nunes moving over to one side, Diogo Jota becoming almost a central pivot with him in this role allows both of them not only to play off each other, but at the same time for Jota to move into the box, but at the same time as well dropping into midfield. With this dual almost role, it allows Jota to be in part of the build-up of play, but at the same time being able to give him that flexibility to be able to move into different pockets of space, but also have that tight-knit play with the rest of his side. He's very good at close control, he's good at movement, and it's this movement that I think is going to cause teams a whole heap of problems, especially when you partner it up with the movement of Darwin Nunes, the utilisation of the real creativity of Harvey Elliott, and then you've got a number of passers in the side to be able to find him in different channels. The movement into different areas is something that could unlock defences from a number of key points, and then you've got his finishing. Within the penalty area, he is absolutely deadly, and giving him a chance or giving him multiple chances in this rotational based system might be something that could really unlock Diogo Jota's both movement and finishing capabilities. The implementation of Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 system might have the greatest effect on one player, and that is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, for me, I think that not only does the right wing-back role not suit Trent as much due to the physical nature of the way that the wing-back role needs to go forwards and then back, I don't think he's stamina-wise got the physical attributes to be able to continuously do that on a regular basis, but at the same time, I feel like he's almost pinned out onto this right-hand side, and for someone with his passing ability, someone with his creativity and his range of passing, I think moving him into the centre of the park is a natural progression for his career. I don't think we've seen the end of Trent Alexander-Arnold's progression within football and within the general archetypes of what we believe a football player should be. Essentially, what I'm saying is he's too good to be stuck out on the right-hand side. And if you are to integrate a 3-4-3 system, I think that while he would be brilliant at delivering from that right, moving him more centrally might give him the flexibility and the freedom to be able to open up defences in a different way. So the Ruben Amorim 3-4-3 system utilizes a heavy based rotation around different pockets of space to be able to utilize and facilitate a number of different players. And Trent Alexander-Arnold's role, I think, could be twofold. Not only could he be able to pick up the ball from the centre backs and then recycle it round, but at the same time we know he has that vision and long pass to be able to find wing backs like Andy Robertson, like Tsimikas out on that left hand side to be able to better switch the play. His utilization in a further deeper role might be able to just really unlock the running power that is from the likes of Darwin Nunes or Diogo Jota, and at the same time you're asking for his flexibility of passing to find both wing backs at the same time. With that rotation, you're going to see one of the central midfielders move forwards, an inside forward come inside, and that's going to open up two different channels and pockets of space to play into. If they can't play into there, or if he gets marked, you're then looking at the rotation of the centre backs, who are able to split a little bit wider and then play it through the wing backs. But it's the facilitation of Trent Alexander-Arnold and the actual willingness to play him in a more central role that might be able to open up different spaces. If you see the blindside runs of Diogo Jota and Darwin Nunes, I think Trent will be able to find them with no trouble at all. His plays over the top are going to really open up different channels, different pockets, and then you're asking for the wing backs to really make their runs as well. The space is going to be found, and if you find the space, or if you have the players to enter the space, Trent Alexander-Arnold will be able to find them. It just seems like a natural progression for me to move him into midfield to unlock his passing capability for a little bit more. Now, if you're talking about from a more defensive point of view, on the transition, he's going to be a little bit susceptible. But this is where I think the back three comes in, and it's why I think moving him into this system in the midfield makes so much sense. You've got 1, 2, 3 players who are going to be able to help with the transition. If they're fast, pacey, the likes of Jarrell Kwanzaa, the likes of Konate, I think they're going to be able to deal with the transition and help out Trent from a more defensive point of view. Let's not forget, he still can defend. He's just not pretty fantastic 1v1, but with the players around him, with the sustainability of this Liverpool midfield, I think that he's going to get enough support to be able to unlock his own game from a passing point of view, and at the same time make sure they're still defensively resolute. Him as a single pivot when moving them forwards just seems to make sense for me, allowing him to as well drop in with another midfielder whenever they need to. The rotation from this system just makes a whole lot of sense for me, and it could really unlock a transformative change for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And those are 5 players who I think Ruben Amorim could improve with his 3-4-3 system. But my question to you guys is, who do you see improving under Ruben Amorim if you were to take the job at Liverpool? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.